Fantastic stack of insights in front of us today, all about one of my absolute favorite places, Epcot. We're going on a bit of a mission today, really, to figure out the essential must-dos for your next visit. We'll be pulling the key nuggets from the info we've gathered for you.
Exactly. And Epcot, well, maybe more than any other park right now, it's really undergoing quite the transformation. It feels like it's always evolving, always adding something new. So yeah, our mission is to unpack those key insights, those practical tips to help you navigate all the newness, but, still enjoy the classics you know and love, whether it's your first trip or, gosh, your 100th.
Okay, let's get into it. That whole spirit of transformation means Epcot is constantly changing, and we've learned about some pretty exciting things just around the corner, and some that have, well, just arrived.
That's right. It's definitely a park where you kind of need to stay updated. A big one coming up is Test Track. It's been around since '99, give or take, but it closed back in June 2024 for some major changes.
Oh, wow. Yeah, major changes sounds right.
Yeah.
What's the time frame looking like on that? When's it back?
Well, the word is it's slated to reopen sometime this summer, and the feeling is it's going to be totally brand new.
Huh.
And a fascinating detail we found, this new version, it's actually inspired by the old World of Motion attraction, the one that used to be right there when the park first opened.
No way. World of Motion. That's such a cool historical callback. That's a deep cut for Epcot fans.
It really is.
So any heads up on how folks will actually get on the ride once it reopens? Like queue-wise?
Yeah, that's a really important question for planning. While it hasn't been, 100% confirmed, the strong indication, the rumor mill, suggests it'll likely use a virtual queue system when it reopens.
Ah, okay.
Definitely go in prepared for that possibility. Check that app.
Got it. Be ready for the virtual queue. Okay, shifting gears slightly. There's also that brand new lounge everyone seems to be buzzing about.
Yes, the Geo 82 Lounge. And it's themed entirely around Spaceship Earth. How cool is that?
So cool.
It's supposed to open late spring. And yeah, just the theme alone has people pretty excited.
It really feels like such a direct nod to the park icon, doesn't it? What's the latest on what it's actually going to offer?
So this was a pretty significant announcement. We saw Geo 82. It's going to be an adults-only lounge, so restricted to guests 21 and older.
Wow, really?
Yeah. It's promising global flavors and artisan cocktails. What's really interesting about this, I think, is just how rare adults-only spaces are inside a Disney park.
Yeah.
You find them at resorts, Disney Springs, sure, but actually within the gates. That's intriguing.
That definitely changes the dynamic for, adult park goers looking for that kind of space.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving from things opening soon to things that have just recently arrived, Communicore.
Right. That brings us to Communicore Hall and Plaza. These opened less than a year ago, and they sit right there in World Celebration, basically the new central hub of the park.
And from what we understand, they've basically become Epcot's dedicated festival area. Is that right?
Precisely. They're designed to be the heart of the park's, very lively festival scene. And over on the Plaza stage, we learned that the Encanto-themed sing-along, the one with Mirabelle and Bruno.
Yeah.
It was originally temporary, but they've announced it's sticking around for good now.
Oh, that's fantastic news, especially for families and, anyone who loves Encanto.
Totally. And inside Communicore Hall itself, you'll find things like seasonal exhibits that change with the festivals, places to grab some of those popular festival treats and drinks. And importantly, it's the year-round indoor spot to meet Mickey and friends.
Oh, okay.
It really anchors that central part of the park now, gives it some real function.
All right, so with all this newness, this constantly shifting park landscape, let's talk practical strategy. How do you actually ride the popular attractions?
Yeah.
Optimizing those wait times is so key in a park this big.
Absolutely. Tackling the most popular rides, it does require a bit of know-how. We found a really welcome recent addition mention for Remy's Ratatouille adventure over in the France Pavilion.
Ooh, what's that?
They've added a single rider line.
Oh, that can be a real game changer for some groups, can't it?
It really can. I mean, if your party is willing to split up, using that free single rider line is a fantastic way to save a significant amount of time. You basically bypass the bulk of the regular standby queue.
Smart. And what about the coaster everyone's still buzzing about, Guardians of the Galaxy? Cosmic Rewind. That's had a few different systems, hasn't it?
Cosmic Rewind has definitely evolved. It opened back in 2022 using that strict virtual queue system. Now, though, we've seen it shift to a regular standby queue. Well, at least for the moment. Things can always change.
Yeah, you can just walk up and get in line right now. No virtual queue needed.
You can, yes. But, and this is a big but, be warned that standby line can get extremely long. like really long, particularly by midday.
Okay, good warning.
So if you absolutely want to skip that line, the option to purchase an individual lightning lane for Cosmic Rewind is still there. We've seen that typically price out anywhere from, say, $14 to over $18 per person just for one ride.
Right. Pay to skip or potentially face a massive wait.
Yeah.
Good to have the options clear, though.
And just to circle back to our earlier point, while Cosmic Rewind isn't using a virtual queue right now, that doesn't mean they're gone from the park entirely. Like we talked about with Test Track, there's a strong possibility other rides will use a virtual queue when they reopen or debut.
Right, right.
So it's always something to check on the morning of your visit in the app.
Preparation is definitely key.
Okay.
Now, for those of us who like to get there bright and early,
Right.
let's talk morning strategy. Rope drop.
Yes. Arriving early is crucial, especially if you're leveraging early theme park entry as a Disney resort guest. That extra 30 minutes before the official park opening, huge advantage. We identified a few really good morning strategies, kind of depending on what you prioritized.
Gee, lay 'em on us. What's the first option?
Option 1, head straight for Cosmic Rewind. For now, anyway, this is the fastest way to ride it without paying for that lightning lane, assuming you get there right at park opening or during early entry. Then after your thrilling cosmic adventure, you could easily grab a coffee from the nearby Joffrey's kiosk. Nice start.
Makes sense. Knock out a big one first thing. Smart. What's option 2?
Option 2, head to Frozen Ever After in Norway. Now, this might seem a bit counterintuitive because World Showcase generally opens later, right?
Yeah.
Usually 11 a.m., but the rides inside the pavilions, like Frozen, they actually open with the park at 9 a.m. So hitting Frozen first thing is a really smart way to experience a super popular World Showcase ride before the crowds really fill that area later. Plus, Kringle Bakery nearby is open early too. Perfect for a breakfast pastry, maybe that frozen Viking coffee.
Ooh, a quiet World Showcase morning sounds lovely. And a pastry. Okay.
Yeah.
Option 3.
Prioritize Remy's Ratatouille adventure. Now, this strategy is pretty much ideal if you're arriving via the Disney Skyliner at the International Gateway entrance.
Yeah, the back entrance.
Exactly. It drops you off conveniently right between the France and UK pavilions, so you have direct access to Remy's basically right away.
Okay, but what if I'm not staying on the Skyliner route? Can I still use that entrance?
Well, yeah. We learned that some guests who really want to prioritize Remy's from International Gateway will even, park or bus over to Hollywood Studios first, and then ride the Skyliner over to Epcot from there.
Interesting workaround.
Just remember to factor in that extra travel time, if you choose that path. And to make that French morning even better, you can pop into Les Halles Boulangerie Patisserie. Really affordable, really delicious breakfast options. Quiche, croissants, you name it.
Oh, Les Halles is a true gem. Love that place.
Yeah.
Okay, and the last one. Option 4.
Consider rope dropping Soarin' around the world over in the Land Pavilion. Now, its lines generally don't get quite as long as Cosmic Rewind or Remy's, but it offers a potentially very relaxed start to your day. Sometimes, if you're quick, you might even get 2 rides in back-to-back before the lines really build up.
Nice.
And it's also a solid indoor option, which is great if the weather looks a bit iffy, rainy Florida days.
Good point about the weather. And what about after Soarin'? What's nearby?
You're perfectly positioned. You can hop right on Living with the Land next door and then grab a quick breakfast from Sunshine Seasons, which is conveniently located right there in the same pavilion. That whole area offers a really comfortable indoor morning.
Wow. Okay, so many great morning strategies there depending on what you want. Now, let's talk about what many people would argue is Epcot's biggest draw. The food.
Ah, Epcot food, yes. It's celebrated for a reason, isn't it? It's definitely not your typical theme park fare. It's unique, often surprisingly high quality. You find dishes and experiences here that you just won't get anywhere else in Disney World.
Okay, give us some of those standout examples we found. Let's make ourselves hungry.
All right. Over in the France Pavilion, you've got l'artisan de glace, 16, count 'em, 16 delicious artisan ice creams and sorbet made fresh daily. They do fun, unique things too, like ice cream martinis and those amazing macaron ice cream sandwiches.
Oh gosh, yes, the macaron sandwiches.
Yeah.
My sweet tooth is definitely paying attention now.
But okay, for something really unique there's the croque glacé. It's described as this sophisticated ice cream sandwich.
How so?
Well, they take your choice of ice cream and press it inside a warm pressed brioche bun with your choice of raspberry or chocolate sauce.
Warm bread and cold ice cream.
It works. It's this amazing texture combo and totally customizable, which is great.
Intriguing. France also has that little hidden spot we found, doesn't it?
Yes, Le Vin de France. It looks deceptively like just a gift shop from the outside, but step inside, and it's actually a champagne bar.
Ooh, fancy.
You can buy bottles or glasses, sure, but the really unique offering here are the champagne flights.
Oh, flights. Tell me about those. What do we find?
Okay, so we found they offer two. There's a regular champagne flight, it's around $34, and it gives you a tasting of three different quite nice champagnes, like Moet Chandon, Taittinger. But if you want to really push the boat out, there's a deluxe champagne flight. It's around $72, but it features some incredibly prestigious champagnes. Think Dom Perignon, Ruinart. It's a unique way to sample different styles if you're into champagne.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely a touch of luxury. All right, let's hop over to Germany now. What's good there?
In Germany, there's this little tucked-away kiosk, you might easily miss it, called Summerfest. This is where you find the famous pretzel bread pudding, and it's under $5.
Yes. The pretzel bread pudding. I think I remember the anecdote we saw about that one.
It was hilarious, wasn't it? It's described as dense, like really dense, but so good you absolutely need to get your own portion. We even saw footage of someone devouring it at, quote, record speed.
Uh-huh. Okay, message received.
Confirms its must-try status. Seriously, don't plan on sharing this one. Get your own.
Do not share the pretzel bread pudding. Got it loud and clear. What else in Germany?
And then right at the front of the Germany pavilion, you can't miss Caramel Kusche, famous for making Fresh Werther's original caramel treats right there, daily. The smell alone draws you in. They have a huge variety: caramel butter bars, caramel cookie cups, caramel s'mores, seasonal whoopie pies. Oh, and even a Mickey caramel apple dressed up in lederhosen.
That is uniquely Epcot theme park food. A lederhosen caramel apple. Love it.
Moving over to Japan, we found a really standout, albeit a pretty pricey dining experience mentioned at the table service restaurant, the $300 Fun Sushi boat.
Whoa, okay. $300 for sushi. What's the deal with that? Is it worth it?
Well, it's definitely presented as more of a novelty item, a big occasion thing. It's this huge presentation designed to feed maybe 4 to 6 people, and it features a premium assortment of high-quality sushi and sashimi served in this cool decorative boat. So yeah, it's a major splurge, but it's highlighted as a unique group experience. But importantly, we saw there are plenty of other, much more affordable and still very tasty options available on the menu there, too.
Okay, good to know you don't have to drop $300 to eat well in Japan. Phew. Of course, when we talk about drinks in Epcot, that classic fan-made challenge always comes up.
Yes. Drinking around the world. It's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. The challenge is trying to get one drink, any drink, from each of the 11 World Showcase pavilions.
And importantly, we learned this doesn't just have to mean alcoholic drinks, right?
Exactly. That's key. Well, there are tons of resources and guides out there focusing on the best alcoholic options. And we even found a free guide mention that there are also amazing non-alcoholic drinks available in every single pavilion. So it's a challenge anyone can participate in, really, regardless of age or whether you choose to drink alcohol or not.
Okay, let's hear some of those interesting non-alcoholic examples we found. I'm curious.
Certainly. Okay, so in the UK's Rose and Crown pub, you can get proper Twinings hot tea. For that authentic British afternoon tea time feel. Very civilized.
Okay.
Then in Morocco, at the Oasis Sweets and Sips window, they offer a really refreshing non-alcoholic frozen mint tea, though we did note you can also get it spiked with gin if you prefer.
Good option to have.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
At the American Adventures Fife and Drum kiosk, there's the American Dream slush. It's this fun, layered, frozen drink, Fanta Wild Cherry, vanilla ice cream, and then frozen Fanta Blue raspberry slushy on top. Very red, white, and blue.
It does sound very
But
American. It's very sweet.
Pretty much. Then in Italy, while obviously they have lots of wine, the Gelateria Toscana has a newer item called the Frogo, which is basically root beer and vanilla gelato combined, like a fancy Italian root beer float.
Oh, I like the sound of that.
And at the Joy of Tea kiosk, just outside the China Pavilion, you can find bubble milk tea, which is still kind of a unique find for Disney World, actually.
Definitely. And for those looking for a boozy option at that same spot in China.
Ah, yes. The Tipsy Ducks in Love is often mentioned there. It's made with bourbon, black tea, coffee cream, and chocolate. Sounds interesting.
It does?
And one more non-alcoholic one back at Kringla Bakery in Norway, the Kristoff Cafe. It's a non-alcoholic frozen coffee, kind of a tasty take on their famous alcoholic frozen Viking coffee. Good coffee fix.
Okay, so truly, so many unique liquid refreshments to explore, alcoholic or not. Beyond the rides and the food, though, Epcot offers this really deep cultural immersion you just don't find elsewhere, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Exploring the international pavilions isn't just about eating and drinking. Definitely not. There are really extensive shopping opportunities, too. You can find genuinely unique items like beautiful silk jackets in China, lots of customizable items, and authentic cultural crafts from each country.
And you can sometimes see things being made right there, can't you? Like artisans at work.
Yes, that's such a highlight. We saw mentions of exactly that watching Venetian masks being crafted in Italy, having that unique experience of picking your own pearl in Japan, seeing those colorful hand-painted alebrijes being made in Mexico, or getting leather goods customized in Canada, or even having a perfume bottle engraved. I think we saw that mentioned for France, the UK, and Italy. It just adds such a cool layer of authenticity.
It really does. And the cast members themselves really enhance that feeling, too.
They absolutely do. That's thanks to Disney's Cultural Representative Program. Many, if not most, of the cast members staffing the World Showcase pavilions are actually from the countries they represent. And we learned what a special opportunity this is for guests. You can actually talk to them about their hometowns, maybe learn a few words of their language, get their personal dining recommendations.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah, and even hear about their own Disney parks back home, like in Tokyo, Hong Kong, or Shanghai. They're often super eager to share insights, especially about what they feel are the most authentic options available right there in their pavilion.
That personal connection, that's something really special. You really only get that specific experience at Epcot, I think.
It truly is unique. Okay, moving on. It often feels like there's always a festival happening at Epcot, right?
But we found that isn't quite the case year-round.
Right, there are definite gaps, particularly in the summer months. Correct. While there are 4 distinct festivals throughout the year that cover most seasons, arts, flower and garden, food and wine, holidays, there are breaks. For instance, the Flower and Garden Festival typically wraps up in early June, and then the big Food and Wine Festival usually kicks off sometime in August. So that leaves that prime summer vacation time, July, often without a major festival overlay.
Good to know for planning. But if your visit does align with the festival, it adds tremendous value, doesn't it?
No, a huge amount. We saw just how much extra stuff gets packed in. The materials really highlight the added value. You've got the food booths, obviously, sometimes over 30 temporary kitchens set up around World Showcase offering unique tapas-sized dishes and drink pairings. Plus, live entertainment ranging from really big-name musical artists at the America Gardens Theater to local bands playing around the pavilions. And of course, limited time merchandise and specialty activities like scavenger hunts themed to whatever festival it is.
Okay, give us some examples of those fun, specific festival activities.
Sure. At the Festival of the Arts, you can admire incredible chalk art being created live on the pavement, and even participate yourself in a huge collaborative paint-by-number mural. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
During Flower and Garden, you're just surrounded by these stunning character topiaries everywhere. You can walk through a butterfly house, which is lovely, and even take a delightful little tea tour over in the UK pavilion.
And Food and Wine is famously all about those global marketplaces, sampling everything.
Exactly, sampling bites and drinks from countries far beyond just the main 11 pavilions. Although we did note that some popular elements from the past, like the culinary seminars and chef demonstrations, have unfortunately been missing from Food and Wine since 2020. Hopefully they return someday.
Yeah.
And finally, the Festival of the Holidays, which often caps off the year, brings the World Showcase storytellers out, sharing holiday traditions from their countries. There's usually a festive holiday overlay on the Living with the Land ride, which is fun.
Yeah.
And of course, the incredibly popular Candlelight Processional.
Ah, that's the big one with the celebrity narrator telling the Christmas story, right?
That's the one. A celebrity joins a huge 50-piece orchestra and a massive choir. Because it's so immensely popular, a key planning tip we found is crucial. You either need to line up hours early, like hours for a standby seat,
Wow.
or the much less stressful option, book a candlelight processional dining package. You eat at a participating Epcot restaurant, and it guarantees you seating for a specific showtime afterwards.
Okay, definitely requires planning ahead for that one.
Okay.
Good tip. Now, as the day winds down and the sun starts to set, Epcot really transforms into something well, truly magical.
It really, really does. Some experiences just take on a whole new life after dark, like Spaceship Earth. While the ride inside is obviously the same day or night, the exterior geosphere itself lights up. It has these constantly shifting, beautiful colors every 15 minutes or so as the park day ends. It cycles through that gorgeous standard display that debuted for Disney World's 50th anniversary. Plus, they do special limited time shows themed to the current festival or holiday. It's mesmerizing.
Seeing that icon come alive with light like that is truly breathtaking. I could just stand and watch it.
Me too. And Journey of Water, inspired by Moana, that also changes quite beautifully at night. The interactive water features are still there to play in, but the lighting along the trail shifts dramatically. It goes from earthy tones during the day to these stunning sunset-inspired hues, lots of pinks, golds, purples. It's really pretty.
Oh, lovely.
And the New World Celebration Gardens, the area right around the base of Spaceship Earth, those also glow with those same sunset and rainbow tones, and they even sync up with the Spaceship Earth light shows for this really cool, coordinated display across the whole area.
Wow, that visual connection between the gardens and the park icon sounds absolutely incredible. Must be amazing to see. And then, of course, there's the main event over the lagoon, the fireworks.
Right. Luminous, the Symphony of Us. This is Epcot's current nighttime spectacular. It debuted back on December 5th, 2023. It features, the works, fireworks, fountains, lasers, special lighting effects, and new original Disney songs created just for the show.
And a big plus we saw, noted thankfully it doesn't use those controversial giant barges that used to just sit out in the middle of the lagoon all day long.
Yes. Good riddance to the barges indeed. That's a definite improvement. So is it easy to find a good view of Luminous then?
Well, we learned that because the show relies a bit less on projections onto screens compared to some past shows, it's generally easier to get a decent view of the actual fireworks in the sky from many spots around the lagoon. However, for the absolute best views, you really want a clear sight line of the World Showcase Lagoon itself because you want to see those fountains that are integrated into the show. They're a big part of it.
Oh, okay. So the fountains are key.
Yeah. And we identified several prime viewing areas based on the info we gathered.
Okay, where are the top spots, according to our sources? Where should people aim for? All right, a really solid, accessible spot is the walkway area between the Mexico and Norway pavilions. It generally offers a great, clear view across the lagoon. Plus, it's conveniently located right near La Cantina de Sanang if you want to grab a margarita or some chips right before the show starts.
Can't go wrong with that combo, margaritas and fireworks.
Never. Then, for more premium viewing options, you can book a fireworks dining package. 2 locations often offer this: the Rose and Crown patio in the UK pavilion or the covered outdoor patio at Spice Road Table in Morocco. Both offer you a meal and then a guaranteed, really excellent view of the show.
Dining with the guaranteed fireworks view, that sounds like a perfect Epcot evening, honestly.
Doesn't it? Now, World Showcase Plaza, that's the area near the main entrance to World Showcase, kind of heading towards Canada, that's arguably the prime centered spot. It's often reserved for VIPs or private events, but if it is open to the general public, arriving really early is key to snagging a spot there.
Got it. High demand area.
Definitely. The Pont de l'Artiste Bridge, the one connecting France and the UK, that can offer a good elevated view from the railings. Space is obviously very limited there, though, and you absolutely need to make sure you aren't blocking pedestrian traffic. Cast members will move you along.
Right. Don't block the bridge.
Please don't. The Italy Isola, that little island area sticking out into the lagoon in Italy, that also offers a fantastic, pretty centered view if it's not blocked off for a private event, which does happen sometimes.
Okay, so lots of different potential vantage points around the lagoon to consider. Lots of ifs sometimes, too.
Exactly. And for a truly unique perspective, something really special we found mentioned, there's the option of booking a fireworks cruise.
Oh, tell me more about that.
These are private boats, pontoon boats usually, that can hold up to 10 guests. They depart from the Yacht and Beach Club Marina, just outside the International Gateway. They take you out onto the lagoon. The show's music is piped right into the boat. You get a captain. Usually some snacks and drinks are included, maybe even banners if it's a celebration.
Well,
They typically start around $399 for the boat. So if you have a group of, say, 8 or 10 people, it can actually be a really good value per person for an absolutely unforgettable, unobstructed view right there on the water. You do need to exit the park via the International Gateway to get over to the marina, though, so factor that in.
a fireworks cruise.
Well,
That
yeah.
sounds like an absolutely magical splurge for a special occasion. Incredible.
It certainly does sound it. Now, as we've kind of gone through all these exciting new things, the strategies, the food, we found something really important that came up, something we should probably touch on before we wrap up. And that's the value of, well, re-experiencing your
Well, yeah,
favorites.
that constant tension, isn't it, between wanting to do every single new thing versus the comfort of the familiar, the things you always do.
Exactly. With Epcot changing so much so fast, it's really easy to feel that pressure, that FOMO fear of missing out. You feel like you have to check off every new ride, every new food booth, every new lounge. But a great point that came through loud and clear in what we reviewed is that it is absolutely okay. In fact, it's encouraged to stick to your beloved experiences or your family traditions.
Yeah.
There's tremendous value in nostalgia and just finding joy in revisiting things you know you love. Maybe, like the example given, it's always getting your favorite pizza at Via Napoli in Italy, even if you've done it a dozen times before. If that makes you happy, do it.
Because at the end of the day, it really is your vacation, isn't it?
Precisely. That's the bottom line. The goal is to make you happy and create the memories you want to create. Don't feel obligated to chase every single shiny new thing if what truly brings you joy is a classic Epcot experience you've loved for years.
That's such a good reminder. This deep dive has given us so many layers to Epcot, hasn't it? The constant evolution, the smart strategies for hitting the rides, the incredible and, gosh, unique food and drink scene, those rich cultural connections,
Yeah, the added magic of the festivals, the stunning transformation at night.
and that important reminder that personal preference, what you love, is absolutely paramount.
It really is a park that offers something for pretty much everyone, and it definitely rewards exploring its many facets, both the brand new stuff and the cherished old stuff.
So, as you plan your next trip, maybe start thinking about this.
Yeah.
Here's a thought to leave you with.
Given Epcot's constant state of evolution, the just vast array of unique options available now, and also that powerful comfort of nostalgia, how will you balance exploring the new Epcot with revisiting those classic experiences that maybe feel like home on your next visit? Or perhaps, maybe think about it this way. With so many ways to tailor your day, how does your personal taste, your own preferences, define your ultimate list of must-dos, regardless of what any guide or, well, any podcast deep dive might tell you?
Thanks for tuning in to Once Upon a Mouse. If you love all things Disney, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more magical content, and click the bell so you never miss an episode. See you real soon.